Well, hello everybody. What do you know? It's the Jeff Vicario show on SLERadio. I am not a poet, but I am Jeff Vicario, and you're listening to this show once more. I hope you are going to enjoy it. I'm not sure if I am, because it's one of those days. But fear not, at least the music will be great, as always. I've picked a stellar lineup of great material, and I am fairly certain that you will not be disappointed. Now, on the SLE front, I would like to remind everybody that it is a great radio station. You should all listen to it all day, every day. As if I'm not entirely mistaken, the SLE Kickstarter campaign is still going on. So head over to Kickstarter and throw some support at our general direction. It will go to a worthy cause, or, well, we're all about the artists. Anything you do to support the station will eventually support the artists that are featured on the station. And I would not forgive myself for not, if I did not also remind you that there are some awesome shows on SLERadio, the likes of let me check what the names were, because I have forgotten. Sunday Service with Grunge Norris, Limbocast with Joey and Troy, Viper Drive presents Club Electric, and The Demonic Hour, which debuted a while back. Well, it's probably a couple of weeks since I am recording this. About a week ahead of schedule, as usual. But never mind that. Let's get on to the music. The first song is something that I stumbled onto while listening to a streaming service that I shall not name, but nevertheless, it was one of the more popular ones. And the song is called, intriguingly enough, Creature Comforts, and it is by one of the great synthwave artists that I have discovered on the indie scene, and they're called The Less Dead, out of Japan, of all places. This is a great song. Let's have a listen to it and then get back to talking about it.
Grab your things and I drive away.
Well, that was a great way to kick off the show. That was The Less Dead with their song Creature Comforts, and they are out of Takamatsu, Japan. I loved it. Oh, what's to say about a song that just is top to bottom pretty much perfect? I guess I especially was drawn to the vocals. I mean, it's always kind of cool to have a song that you can tell that would be just a perfect synthwave, typical synthwave instrumental, but then you have these really creative, cool vocals. I especially enjoyed the long notes, with that kind of almost harmony ringing out there. Very enjoyable. Thank you for letting me play that song. Very, very honored and privileged, as always, to be able to, just pick songs that I personally like, and then I get to share them with everybody out there. And by the way, if you want your music to be heard on this show, on the off chance that might occur to you, dear artist, whoever you are and wherever you are, you can send me your songs at jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. And by the way, I'm recording this in Helsinki, Finland, on my balcony, once again. Looking at seagulls, looking at the blue sky. It is looking like it's gonna be a hot day. And talking about hot days, this is not a very good segue into the next song, but whatever. Oh, hello, seagull. There's plenty of them here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, the next song is by an artist that only recently got in touch, but I loved it so much, and that I decided to just kind of let it jump the queue a little bit and got it. I wanted to play it on this show because it was really that good, and also because it's like a classic rock, band rock song, and it's not as if I have like an overabundance of that kind of music. So I picked it for this show, and the band is called Camp Marshy. They're from Sweden. And hello, Klaas. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hey, son, Klaas. The song is called Black Soul, White Shoes, and a Leather Jacket. And I think you're gonna agree with me once you've heard this song that it is killer. Once again, this is Camp Marshy.
Black soul, white shoes, and a leather jacket. She's sweet as sugar, bad news to me. She's poison to my mind, and with a love that's only fine. That girl I used to know, she gave me hell. She's got me all bound, turned my life all around. Still wanna be with someone like you. Black so white shoes and a leather jacket. 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 I love it. Yeah.
Party punk rock from Sweden there. Camp Marshy with black soul, white shoes, and a leather jacket. I loved it. That was I'm gonna need some new adjectives. That was an awesome song. Okay, let's just switch over to that one. Well, you know what's not to like about a song that has a breakdown section with hand claps. Come on. Also, I know it's a little detail and it's a little bit crazy to even pay attention to that, but you know that bit where in the intro and in the middle where they go, the lead singer goes leather jacket and then the response is jacket, which is kind of like an adorably Swedish way to pronounce the word. Oh, but yeah, you know, that's from their new album that came out on May the 2nd, 2020. Go find that. That's, you know, if ever the chance would present itself that I could see those guys live, I would go watch them at every single gig they play. But, you know, what are the chances of that ever happening? That was a great song, nevertheless. I mean, you know, it's kind of easy to take a song like that for granted. And you go like, oh, you know, anyone can write something like that. But, you know, just try writing like a party rock anthem like that and pull it off, you know. It's not that easy, you know. Some guys have a knack for like writing effortlessly great, sort of upbeat, great rock songs, and these guys are they're really good. I hope I'm correct in assuming that Klaas Lucien, the drummer of the band, is also handling their Twitter account, so you know, everybody go follow them on Twitter. You can find them, just put Camp Marshy in the search field and you will find Klaas Lucien's handle, Twitter account, and follow him and, you know, share and like and all that good stuff. It's one of those days. This is the Jeff Vicario Show on SLERadio, nevertheless, and, you know, aside of all this incoherent talk about this and that or the other, we're also going to be listening to some great music. Next up, moving on, we have one of my favorite artists, bands. Well, I guess all of these are, but whatever. Eden's End. Eden's End is what we're going to be listening to next. On the last show, we had a song from Jack Goodwin's other project, the Joker project, and I was wrong, probably, about the intro to that song, or the outro, whatever. Moving on. Eden's End. This is my favorite song from them that I've ever heard thus far. This is called The Glaring Sun. I kind of knew it from the title that I was gonna like this, and I was not wrong. And, you know, without making any more of a mess of this intro, let's just listen to the song and maybe I'll find something coherent. More coherent. English is not my first language, by the way. My name is Jeff Vicario. Maybe I should just start doing this show in Finnish. For the exactly 0 people in Finland listening. Anyway, Eden's End with The Glaring Sun, and this is from their album Slow Moving Clouds. Eden's End there with their song, The Glaring Sun. I enjoyed it. I always love drummers and drum playing that's kind of teetering on the edge of collapse and then still sort of hanging in there and hanging together. That, you know, the drumming there reminded me of a more sort of technically advanced take on Ralph Molina, the guy who played or plays for Neil Young and the Crazy Horse. And that sort of insistent driving vibe that they have, you know, loud, dirty guitars, and, you know, that kind of alternative rock vibe that they have. A great song from Eden's End. That's from their recent record, Slow Moving Clouds, which came out in March this year. Worth your time. Hello, Seagull. Worth your time and everybody else's time. And as I mentioned in the previous show, Jack Goodwin, the main man, there is one of those guys that just deserve your adoration and respect for everything that he's done for the indie music community, including yours truly and, you know, quite a few others out there with, you know, Merch Table Pro and everything that he just does. I don't know how he, you know, has the time and energy for all that, but I am grateful to him, as should everybody else be. But that's not the reason I played his music. I played his music, or his band's music, because I very much love it, and I think it deserves as wide an audience as, you know, as possible. Yes, very nice music there. Am I a bit sedate today? I guess I am, which is kind of nice. I sometimes record this show and I'm in such a sort of upwardly mobile vibe that's kind of hectic and all over the place. I'm still all over the place, but at a slower pace. Nevertheless, it's time for the mandatory interlude where I play music from a Welsh artist, because, as you all know, that's what I have to do to please my Welsh overlords. This song is by another host of a show on this fine station, which is actually, incidentally, SLERadio. And the artist is called Viper Drive, and this song is actually one of quite a recent release from him. I think it's called Snake Theory. Not only is it a great song, but the video is a must see. You must definitely go on YouTube and check it out. You can find it there. Just go to that abominable Google-owned monstrosity known as YouTube and type in Viper Drive Snake Theory, and you will find it. And I command you to watch it all the way through, because there's a nice, neat little surprise there. Anyway, let's listen to it now and then return to this sofa that I'm sitting on right now. This is Jeff Vicario Show on SLERadio, and this is Viper Drive with Snake Theory.
snake for school. And I've come to fight. That's right. Just as long as I am still alive, the snake fist will live and rise again.
That was easily one of my favorite songs of 2020. That was Viper Drive with Snake Theory. Oh man, it was such a joy listening to it after a bit of a break. I actually paid. The video of it was so great. I remember the last time I listened to it, I was also watching the video and I kind of wasn't maybe paying attention to the actual song as much, but all of those little nuances and details, and when the bass first kicks in, that's just like, chills in the night and everywhere and elsewhere. Alex made that is a brilliant song. Thank you for letting me play it. And you should also check out Alex's show, Viper Drive presents Club Electric on where else? SLERadio on Fridays. That's a must-hear show. Anyway, Synthwave. You can never have enough Synthwave. And especially when it's that good. That double time thing in the middle, that's just perfect. You're kind of in a chilled out retro wave mood here, and then that double time thing kicks in and you're almost like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start dancing. Well, didn't do that. I'm sedate Jeff here, So I'm just chilling still. But that was a great song. What do you say? Well, you can say any number of things. That was a brilliant piece of cinematic sort of retro wave or whatever the subgenre of synthwave that is. I'm not fully versed in those things, but I do recognize a great song when I hear it, and that was truly an amazing song. Yes, Viper Drive with Snake Theory on SLERadio. This is the Jeff Vicario show. Me doing my usual thing. Playing great music and occasionally talking about it coherently and more often just, talking. Next up, we have some heavy metal, because you gotta have some heavy metal too. I picked this song for this show myself. It is actually by a Finnish band called Wrestling. I happen to know the fine gentleman who is the main songwriter in this band. He's a good friend of mine. From years and years ago, we even almost started a band together until life got in the way. But that's ancient history from the last decade or the one before that. So never mind. But yes, Risto Nyman is the guy who is the songwriter and the lead guitarist. The other lead. I think he actually plays all guitars on this song. And I wanted to share their music to a wider audience. They're currently in the studio making their second album, which should probably come out before the year is out. So this is from their first record, which is called Ride On Freaks. You can find it on Spotify. I mentioned the name. You know, the popular streaming service. I have some antipathy towards them, you may have noticed. Anyway, but it's on Bandcamp, towards which I have no antipathy. I like Bandcamp a lot. Anyway, wrestling with a song called Let's Get Born, right here on SLERadio, right now. In case it wasn't obvious, that was heavy metal from Finland. That was wrestling with Let's Get Born. Wise words there. It's always better to get born than die, I suppose. I actually remember the first time I heard the main riff. I was on the train during my daily commute, and I was talking to Risto, and he said, "Hey, you want to hear a demo of my new metal band?" This is a few years back before they'd recorded the first record, and it was like this horrible recording from like band practice or wherever. And the sound quality was abysmal, but then the riff kicks in. I was like, "Oh yes, we're off to the races now." That was such a great riff. I love that sort of hard driving, accept style vibe, So if you're gonna play metal, it's just kick up the tempo a notch and just have fun with it. That was a great song. I'm at a loss for words here, but that's not because of anything except my own sort of weird state of mind today. Kind of, scatterbrain. I don't know what I'm doing. Except, of course, I am presenting this show. Let's get back to that band for at least a little bit. That was Wrestling with a song called Let's Get Born. They have a new album coming out later this year, and I would sincerely hope that more people go out and investigate them further and, listen to them. And, I will actually try to make sure if they are on Twitter or whatever social media so I can, share that stuff around a little bit. Yeah, it's one of those days. I guess, without further ado, let's move on to the next song. Just allow me to check which one it is. Oh yes, it's by an artist called Sunesis. This is one of those intriguing pieces of music that I heard. I think I was driving to Helsinki a few weeks ago. I had to make a quick run. Here. I am here now. Where was I then? Well, somewhere in transit. And I was listening to a random playlist by this market-gobbling streaming service that I shall not name. And this song came on, and I thought, well, this is a bit interesting. And I had to contact them, and I said, well, you know what? I am doing this show, and, you will probably regret it when you hear this, but I'd love to play your music on it. And they kindly agreed. And this is from an EP called Music for Space Station. Let me rephrase that. From an EP called Music for Space Stations, and the song is called The Plan. Very nice music that we're going to be listening to right now. This is Sunesis.
I don't feel so
What's the plan? I don't know, but I adore that song. It fits my mood perfectly. Again, one of those sort of timeless pieces of music where every piece fits. I adore the vocals. They are so good. It just goes into that special place in me where, what was that? Somebody's making noises outside. They're bothering my reverie. How dare they? Those pesky seagulls. Well, getting back to that was Sunesis with a song called The Plan. Synth girl from Barcelona, Spain. Mangled pronunciation. Another Jeff Vicario trademark there. From Barcelona, Spain. Great music. This is from an EP, Music for Space Stations, that came out on May 22nd. Go to Bandcamp and buy it. Seriously, it doesn't cost a lot. And it's such an amazing... On the whole EP is great. That to me is just the cream of creme de la creme, as somebody might say. It's one of those days where I find it difficult to form sentences, which is like pretty much every day for me. But listening to music like that is just... It kind of makes you want to believe that the world actually makes sense. I don't know if that was a love song to a space station or whatever. It doesn't matter because it's so evocative of something really gorgeous somewhere out there in the universe. If it's not this galaxy, then maybe it's another galaxy, and it doesn't matter. I would strongly recommend that everybody go out and acquire that EP right now, because it is gorgeous. That was Sunesis. With some beautiful music. Let's move on. I haven't played too much hip-hop on the Jeff Vicario Show on SLERadio. I don't feel like doing that all that much this time. What happened? Oh, nothing happened. I thought my DAW had done something that it shouldn't have done. Well, we're gonna listen to some hip-hop now. This is by an artist called Austin Poe. It's been in the back of my mind to play this song for a while now, but for some reason it just kept getting pushed back. But it's on the show now, and this song is called Greatness. And it is a rather great song. I wish I had some more hip-hop here, but I haven't had too many submissions so far. But, it's always a good feeling to be able to present the world with some great rap. Austin Poe with Greatness.
Going for greatness. Going for greatness.
This is a traffic jam.
Hey.
Traffic jam.
Blood, sweat, and tears, I'ma leave it on the floor. Gotta take a chance or you'll never know. I'm going for greatness. Underdog didn't see me rising to the top. Now I want everything we never got. I'm going for greatness. Destined for this life, full throttle, no brakes. Got me going hard in the paint. I'm going for greatness. Put the pressure on me with no time on the clock. They knowin' I'ma make the last shot. I'm going for greatness. Staying focused, never complacent. My mind racing, now I got the juice like it's concentrated. Concerns of money, never complicated. Confidential confrontations, operations to get it. Never pause like hesitation. Way of thinking got me up now. Hard for me to sleep when them dreams keep me up now. Visions of Bugattis, hoping I don't crash the body. Do this daily like Carson. Hit the stage, I'ma rock it like Harden. Flow arson, more awesome. This joint that I'm smoking got you coughing. Come around the corner like an option. Sit up at the table for them commas on some rich nigga silverware, feeling more polished. You figured it out, it feel like reasonable doubt. I'm a made nigga, show you what the people about. And this vision I feel, go and get me a meal. I done double up this money, now let's get it for real. Blood, sweat, and tears, I'ma leave it on the floor. Gotta take a chance or you'll never know. I'm going for great. Underdog didn't see me rising to the top. Now I want everything we never got. I'm going for greatness. Destined for this life, full throttle, no brakes. Got me going hard in the paint. I'm going for greatness. Put the pressure on me with no time on the clock. They know when I'ma make the last shot. I'm going for greatness. I'm overdosing the flow, potent. My posting on my way up like promotions. They in their motions with the hate in their blood. They dirty rodents, give them rat poison. My pen poison, you didn't notice. Vision focus, time to put the game on notice. Your time's over, patiently pacing, watching my money time's over. This mountain too high for you to climb over. City of the vultures, it's the culture, no way to control us. No way. Got some chicks holding pom-poms. Focus on making these bands, no dialogue. Playing for a team just to make yourself hot. Niggas be in disguise just like a mascot. Mentally in it, my vision is vivid. A vigilante spirit for figures. I know that you dig it, now dig out. Cause the way that I feel, go and get me a meal. I done double up this money, now let's get it for real. Blood, sweat, and tears, I'ma leave it on the floor. Gotta take a chance or you will never know. I'm going for greatness. Underdog didn't see me rising to the top. Now I want everything we never got. I'm going for greatness. Destined for this life, full throttle, no brakes. Got me going hard in the paint. I'm going for greatness. Put the pressure on me with no time on the clock. They know when I'ma make the last shot. I'm going for greatness.
That was Austin Poe with a song called Greatness. I'm kind of old. I got into hip hop in 1987 or 1988, and kind of my tastes in that department run decidedly old school. And I guess one of the reasons I really loved that from the moment it started was because it had that feel of that sort of laid back groove, but still sort of, I don't know. I'm not up to date with what hip hop sounds like these days. I mean, outside of like trap and mumble rap, which I don't particularly enjoy. But the flow there had, I don't know, you know, that kind of hooked me in the way hip hop used to. You know, you listen to it, and the guy Austin Poe has a great delivery. You know, I don't know if young ones still call it flow. I hope they do, because that's the only term I know to describe, you know, rap vocals. But I loved it. I loved the melodic hook in the beat. He held it together. I love the fact that the vocal hook is just, you know, a word. Let me put it this way. I'm not a fan of melodic vocals in rap music. That genre kind of lost me in the early 90s when they decided that it was a great idea to have somebody come in and sing the choruses. To me, that was just the worst kind of cop-out, you know. I'm not naming any names, but suffice to say that I haven't bought a hip-hop record since 1994, because it just got... I mean, I get it, you know, that's what happens with music. You know, melody is such an integral part of pop music that people are always going to want to hear it. But to me, I mean, I guess I'm kind of a rap purist. To me, it was never better than when it was just full on, you know, rap, you know, like classic Public Enemy or whatever, Beastie Boys. And that had all the core elements of what I like about hip hop. So again, great song. I'm very thankful for Austin Poe for sending it out to me, and thank you for letting me play it on the show, because it's not often that I get to hear a great new hip hop song by an artist that I really, you know, I think I kind of became a fan there. So I strongly recommend everybody to check this guy out, because he's good, and I hope he goes places, because I think that's what hip-hop needs. But then, what do you care about my opinions? I'm a middle-aged man from Finland, you know, hardly a tastemaker. I'm just here, in my mellow mood, listening to music, drinking Coca-Cola. Well, not Coca-Cola. Heaven forbid. I think this is Club Mate Cola. That's a free commercial for that company. And eating some tasty chocolate. Oh, next up we have. Well, let's have a little bit of a change of pace here. This next artist is called Dave Moulter. He's a great songwriter. Let's get that out of the way. That's well, I wouldn't be playing him if he weren't. So I really enjoy his music, and he kindly got in touch a while back and said, "Would you consider playing my music on the show?" And I had another listen. It had been a while since I'd last heard his music, and I thought, well, this is just as great as I remembered. And I was like, of course, you're on the next show where I have a slot. And that show is this show. So let's listen to Dave Moulter right now with a song called Fading Away on SLERadio. I guess this is still the Jeff Vicario show. But, judging by the way things are going, maybe not for long. Dave Moulter, Fading Away. Dave Moulter for a win there with Fading Away. Great song. That put me in a really good mood. Just listening to it, I got that little bit of a Get Back vibe. There was a chord change there that was a bit like from that Beatles song. But on the whole, that's his own. He's doing his own thing, and it's another timeless slice of pop music. Such great writing. I mean, the slide guitar. I mean, I wish I could play slide guitar. It sounds so cool when it's done well. And I didn't even mind the horns. I'm not a big fan of like those sort of annoying sort of Tower of Power style horn things in pop music at all. But there they just blended perfectly into the music, and it sounded really great. Great guitar solo. I mean, well, you can if you can handle slide guitar, then you're just the greatest in my books. Yeah, that was Dave Moulter from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Great songwriter, great musician. It's such a joy to listen to music that oozes musicality and that sort of. You kind of get the feeling that this is a guy who's been around and who knows exactly what he's doing and is enjoying the hell out of it. And the singing was so great too. and seriously, if you're rhyming Elvis with Shelvis, that's genius. That's kind of up there with what was that rhyme that one artist did? You can tell us what the facts is, and you can rhyme it with other people's taxes. Which one? Steve Miller, yeah, he did that rhyme once. It's kind of similar in my book. Great song. Thank you, Dave, for sending it to me. Oh, I'm always happy to play your music on this show. It's such a breath of fresh air for me. Not in comparison to the other music that I've been playing. I mean, I only play music. I only play music that I like on the Jeff Vicario show on SLERadio. But, I'm an old man myself, kind of, sort of. And sometimes that kind of music that has a pleasant echo of the past and its sort of modern sounding grooves, it's just the thing you want to listen to. I enjoyed that immensely, and I think everybody agrees with me. Or if you don't agree with me, then I guess you can go to hell. Or, actually go have a cup of coffee or something. Don't go to hell. It doesn't exist. Well, that's all for theology for today. And the next song that we're going to be listening to is a little bit different. This artist is called Virtual Intelligence. And I was approached by them a while back as well, and they were like, well, would you consider this for your show? Which is actually the Jeff Vicario show. Do you want to be on this show? Just a brief, reminder. Send me an email at jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com with a song or two, or maybe a link to a song. Preferably a file. The streaming thing is not my cup of tea. Getting back to it, this is Virtual Intelligence, a song from an album called, I think it's an EP, Blood Red Spiral Eyes is the release, and the song is called La Llorona. Probably mispronounced it, but it's a great song. Let's listen to it now. Well, how's that for a change of pace? That was Virtual Intelligence, a song called La Llorona. I kind of think that my eardrums were destroyed by that kick snare combo. But that's the good kind of destruction that you need sometimes when you're gonna listen to some dark wave, electro goth. these people, these crazy people behind this group who create this monstrously great party until the end of the world kind of music are from Nibiru, which is kind of, I think, a celestial object that will probably one day crash into the earth and destroy everything. I may be wrong though, but that song was great. I mean, when you do a song like that and you have vocals on it, you just gotta go all out. And they did. That's, if you don't have drama with that kind of, pounding drive, if you don't have drama in the vocals, what's the point? Really much, yeah. Way to go, Jeff. I very much enjoyed it. Oh, well, is there another way of enjoying something? Very little, I guess. Well, that doesn't apply here. That was a great song from Virtual Intelligence. And, seriously, though, is the hook line at the goth club? If it is, I give you like 10 points for that bit of lyrical genius, because why the hell not? Why wouldn't you want to go to the goth club and party until the end of the world? I mean, can I join you? I wouldn't party, I would just kind of hang around in the back in my white t-shirt and feel out of place. But I would probably love the music. As indeed I loved that song. Thank you for getting in touch and letting me play it on the Jeff Vicario show on SLERadio. I think we're gonna introduce the next song now. By the way, I am alright. I'm just really in a sedate mood today, and it's not because I'm on medication or anything. I just kind of feel mellow. It's gone past noon on this fine day here in Helsinki, Finland. Still, the weather is nice. It's not boiling hot on this balcony yet, which it will be in about an hour when that blasted sun will make an appearance, but never you mind that. The next song that we're going to listen to is by an artist called Brass Monkey. And, I think I'm not going to say anything more about it right at this point. This will have to make do for an intro for this song. I predict I will have more things to say about it by the time it's finished. The song is called Breadline from Brass Monkey.
talking to you. You've got nothing but time. You're me on the prayer line. You're me on the prayer line. You're me on the prayer line. You're me, tell me when it's feeling time.
Well, that was a dark shuffle through some dark streets and possibly some dark emotions there. From Brass Monkey, a singer-songwriter from the northeast of England. Kind of gruff voice there, but perfectly fit the song and the vibe of it. When I was a kid, I used to wonder what the hell Brass Monkey means, because I was first introduced to that term by Beastie Boys. The first record had a song called Brass Monkey, that funky monkey, which I don't know whether this Brass Monkey has anything to do with that term, but I've since discovered that it's actually an English expression, I think, to do with the weather, which, if I think I would be wrong in saying that Finland now has Brass Monkey weather, I think that would be the opposite of what I'm experiencing here. Nevertheless, I love that song. That kind of brooding intensity that it had. Nice guitar playing, especially the sort of lighter touches mixed a little bit in the background there. It kind of provided a contrast to the overall sort of proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Brass Monkey, for sending me that song. I was very happy to play it, and hope everybody else agrees with me that it was a nice slice of life disguised as music. Well, not disguised, I mean life music. What's the difference? Moving on. I think I've described two artists on the show thus far as, geniuses. Well, now we're gonna have a third one that fits that category. Among the very first artists that I actually started listening to on the sort of electronic side of the fence, which, in case I haven't mentioned it, although I'm sure I have, was not something that I was very familiar with before my sort of appearance in the indie Twitter community. And this artist was called Tengushe. Quite a productive, intriguing character, this Tengushe. And again, apologies for the quite possibly mangled pronunciation there, but I wanted to have some of his music on there, and luckily he reached out to me and said, well, here, have everything, just, play whatever you want. And that was a kind of a tall order, sifting through all that great material. But I picked this song for no particular reason, except that I think it's pretty much awesome. The song is called The Fox Chases the Moon. But you know what I used to always hate about listening to radio? I mean, I grew up listening to the radio. I mean, back in the early 80s in Finland, you know, you couldn't really watch TV because there was never anything on. And even with music, you could hear like maybe 2 hours of rock music on per week. But much as I adored radio, one of the things I always used to hate was when DJs or show hosts would speak over the song. Either, the song starts and they're still going on about something that they think is absolutely worth saying over the music, or especially with a long intro like this song had, the temptation to start talking over the intro must have been hard to resist. Anyway, that was Tanguy with a song called The Fox Chases the Chicken. Not the chicken. The moon. The fox chases the moon. Maybe I should do some edits with these talking bits sometimes. It was a dynamic and beautiful song. I mean, I said Tanguy, this cyberpunk survivor and digital redneck from out of the endless city, wherever that may be. I said he's a genius, and I kind of stand by that statement. You need to hear the album from which that song is. Afterlife is the name of the album. You need to hear that song. Album in its entirety to fully appreciate what an amazing piece of work it is. But even that single song kind of encapsulates what's so great about it. I mean, even looking at the waveform on my screen here as I'm recording this, it's intriguing and beautiful. It goes from this dynamic, quiet bit into this loud as hell, almost brick-walled kind of feel, and then it drops back into the mellower thing. And I kind of like it when you can say so much about a song by simply looking at a waveform. Tanguy, you are brilliant. Thank you for sharing your music with me and thus with the world, although I am sure plenty of people have been exposed to it already, but I mean, I'm happy to be one of those bumbling idiots who try to say something constructive and nice about it, even though we barely have the vocabulary to do so. This is Jeff Vicario on SLERadio thus far. Next up, we have a song from a band called Free to Grow. The song is called Imperfection. Well, am I gonna resist the pun? No, I'm not. This song is not imperfect at all, and quite the contrary. Well, I don't know if musical perfection exists, but I would be firmly of the opinion that this song falls on the other instead of being anywhere near imperfection. I'm sorry, I'm just rearranging my files as I go along because that song almost already started playing. Imperfection. Let's listen to it, and then I will try to come up with something to say. Free to Grow, Imperfection on SLERadio. Now.
Harmony, whatever it is, leave it to the musicians.
I was Free to Grow, a folk rock band from Fredericton, NB, in Canada. I don't know what NB stands for, but that was a very lovely song indeed. Not a classic chord changes in the songwriting there, but some nice little sort of atypical twists and turns in the songwriting. Lovely details. Incredibly well constructed song. Sort of, again, fits my mood perfectly. This is sedate, Jeff. You know. Next week, I'm probably gonna be all over the place again, but with more speed. Those harmony... Sorry. Those harmony guitars are just the thing. I mean, I kind of got the feeling that these guys have been raiding the same record shelf that Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth. Not saying that they ripped off Opeth, but lots of sort of similarities and some similarities in the sort of melody construction of the guitars. Kind of get the feeling that they've been like checking out the Canterbury scene or whatever. I don't know anything about folk, but I do know great music when I hear it, and that was great music. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to share it with with my audience, both of them. Oh, sorry, I have something in my throat. Maybe a frog, or maybe it's just. Oh, this is horrible. This is such bad radio. Yeah, I have a couple more songs to play for you. Let me just reiterate that was Free to Grow with a song called Imperfection. It was not imperfect in the least. It was quite an amazing piece of music. I'm gonna play a couple more songs, and then I think we're all ready to just give it a rest for the Jeff Vicario show on SLERadio, but do continue to listen to what comes after, because what comes after is Limbo Cast. Next up, we have a band called The Sables from Germany, as recommended by the fine gentleman behind Limbo Cast, Troy and Joey. Hi, guys. I'm not gonna keep going with that beef thing, but there are quite a few Canadian geese around here, Troy. So if you want me to ship you over some, in case you don't have an overabundance of them over there in Canada, then come to Helsinki. Let's listen to The Sables. The song is called Ghost.
Everybody's laughing around me, says that I'm a perfect human being. They will give me chance to sleep away, because they see the soul inside the shade. But I'm not alone in this world, so soul searching people all come on. So come find me and join to us. Hurry up, 'cause joints burn fast. Burning fast.
Well, the Sables there with their song Ghost. Let me just check what the name of the album was because I forget. It's from an album called Sables Volume 2. I think, yes, Sables. The Sables Volume 2, from Frankfurt via Moscow and London, and bringing together a wide array of different influences, that band. Very interesting sort of electronic vibe there. Kind of strange, but in a good way. Well, strange is always better than not strange, I guess. I loved it. The whole album, I think should probably investigate it further. I mean, I kind of just admittedly picked through it, and that was the song that kind of caught my ear the most. But very intriguing. Kind of at a loss for words, but that may just be because I'm nearing the end of the show, and that was, in fact, the second to last song on this Jeff Vicario show. A strange one, I think, this one. But that was a great song. Let's just get that out of the way for a second time, because it's I guess that's why I'm here, isn't it? Is it? Or maybe not. Sables. In case you want to have me say something about your music, you can always kind of take a chance and send it to me. I would imagine not every show is going to be like this, like extra weird. Sometimes I'm slightly more focused and know what I'm talking about. This time that's how it is. I'm gonna finish off with a song from my own project, Black Distortion. This is an old song. Black Distortion actually just released an album on Bandcamp called Unknown Selected Works, which I kind of put together from various things that I'd done over the years. I mean, Black Distortion has a catalog of like 40, 50 songs, so I picked not necessarily the best 15, but the kind of a representative bunch, and Joey from Limbocast and the Promised Land Band is featured on a couple of them, and this is one of those songs. I wrote this last October, very fast, just it came out, put it together, and I really liked it, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time recording it properly, so I had to kind of redo it a little bit a while back, and then after doing a remix, I thought, well, maybe I should get Joe involved, and so he did an extended rap over the outro, which turned out really cool indeed. That's it for me pushing my own stuff. But, I I don't feel too guilty for doing that, I guess. Thank you for listening to this weird episode of the Jeff Vicario Show on SLERadio. Go support SLERadio regardless of me on Kickstarter. Listen to the other shows. Fiber Drive presents Club Electric, The Demonic Hour on Saturdays, Grunge Norris on Sundays, Limbocast right after this, and I'm sure we have a whole host of other new shows, the names of which escape me. And thank you once more to all the artists that sent me music, got in touch, and have been patient with me because it sometimes takes me forever to reply. This is Jeff Vicario saying bye-bye, see you next Tuesday.
I'm in the grip of now. I am the last man on earth that you'd ever believe to be crowned. Catholicism is forever my muse, an occasional glance outside if I so choose, and the rest is history. To lay bare the shape of my mind and the dome of the earth. I know you all too well, and the dome of the earth. I know you all too well. Hysteria follows whenever decisions prove less than unwise. I am the last man on earth to believe them, that will now suffice. My myopic views never cease to amuse, an occasional wink at you if I so choose, and the rest is history. I am fully disinclined to lay bare the shape of my mind